something that men want to be proud of to introduce to the world. When I walk out with my wife every single day, I look at that woman and I say, yo, and this is the honest to God truth. This ain't no blue pill. This ain't no simp, nothing. You know how I get down. You know I run what I got going on in my household. But when my woman walk out the door, she is a representation and a reflection of what it is that we doing in our household and our family. And she carries herself as such. She is absolutely every single thing that I've aspired for her to be for herself. Real talk. She's exceeded every expectation that she's had for herself. She loves herself enough to make sure that she's a good representation of me. She ain't out here thotting and bot, but she ain't out here trying to be no modern woman. You don't see her walking around with no butterfly eye. She is a woman. She embodies what it is that I want to present to the world and my business partners and my mother and my father and everything that my father said that a woman was supposed to be. She embodies it. She's an asset. She brings me money. She brings me joy. She brings me a healthy daughter and a daughter that's actually doing what it is that she's supposed to do. She makes sure she meets the expectations for herself because she's becoming the best version of herself. Still at 40 years old, her body, no BBLs, no surgery, no nothing. In the gym, taking care of business, will put these 20-year-olds to shame. Her body is crazy. Working, understanding that when she walks outside, it's going to be a liability or an asset for me. Come on, man. What you want your life to look like when you 40 and 50 and 60 years old? You want to be a bag of bricks? You want a dude to settle for you? You want the bottom of the barrel? Then go ahead and keep doing what it is that you're doing and let that dude not marry you. Keep dating, jumping on all of these applications. Before long, I'm going to see you on Facebook with all of the aunties, all of the chicks that look like a bag of bricks and the aunties, whining about men, complaining about whether or not they can get a man and how it ain't no good black men and why y'all passport bros right now. You don't want to be the angry auntie. You don't want to be the auntie that's sitting on Facebook. By that time, you're going to be calling it the Facebook. You don't want to be the angry auntie that's complaining about Ben. You want to be the one that's actually giving your daughter, your niece, your nephew, and giving them the game on how it is that they can make sure that their life is blissful also. I'm telling you, it ain't that. You don't want to be that other thing. Preserve yourself. Become an asset for the men that you really want to be in your presence. Let men look at you and then they admire you. And you walking in with that red dress and you looking good and you got yourself together and your teeth is all in your mouth and it ain't all fucked up, right? And everybody in the room can't say, yeah, I hit that and she sucked my cock. And you in the gym and you got a good attitude and you ain't got to code switch your chameleon ways because you really toxic at home. But then when you show up in front of everybody, you present yourself a certain type of way. You ain't trying to trick a dude out his bag. You ain't using him just for food. Don't you realize that you devalue yourself as a woman when you reduce yourself to a meal? You think you getting over on the dude. He ain't stunting that. He fed you. And now he gonna have your head in his lap on the way to the crib because you thought that you was finessing him, but he was really finessing you. Because your mouth and your virtue and what's between your legs was worth way more than that slaughtered pig that we just ate at dinner today. These hoes taught you to finesse a dude out of food and you sold yourself for some ribs. And Ruth Chris. You was only worth Ruth Chris. That ain't nothing to a dude like me. $1,000 is like pennies to me. If all you was worth was a steak at Ruth Chris, you should have did better, baby girl. Your father failed you. Your mama failed you because they told you to put this dude in his phone and your phone is food. And you thought that you came up off of him. When in reality, you was nothing more than a steak dinner or you was a Benny Hine bust down. That's all you thought about yourself was that I can get some food out of him. And it's a strong possibility that you're going to have to give up something for it. You don't even value yourself to be worth more than Benny Hanna's. At all. That's all you worth? That's all your pussy is worth? That's what you shaved and nared for? That's what your dad was preserving you and your virginity for was some Benny Hanna? You gave it up for Benny Hanna. You got him in your phone as food, and you thought that you came up and you finessed him. He finessed you. He knew that his time was worth more than having to actually court you, so he just made sure that he fed you and then shipped you back home in an Uber, and he got all that he needed out of you. He ain't have to do nothing except for feed you. And you thought that you finessed him. You thought that you finessed him because you got some Benny Hine Hine. What happened to our daughters, man? What happened to our black women? What happened to them, man? All it takes is a spirit flight, huh? To give you some Instagram pictures and some scenery. Oh, you leveled up, huh? You in Dubai getting shitted on, so you leveled up, huh? You let a dude for some Instagram pictures, some clout, and some followers on Instagram cock over you in Dubai and take a dump on you, and you thought that you came up. I don't even know how you can live with yourself. I don't even know how you sleep with yourself. Our women have become so devalued to where they have no value to other men of other races. They look at you as something that they can take a dump on. The same thing. Listen, they pay more for their toilets over there than to get you over there and then to cock over you. And you let these hoes get you and convince you and trick you out of your bag, trick you out of your virtue, trick you out of your virginity, trick you out of your queenship, trick you out of your marriage, and you thought that you won. They told you that the definition of winning was that. I'm disappointed. It bothers me. It bothers me to my core. It bothers me to my core. I'm so disappointed. It's some man that was going to love you, take care of you, cherish you, hold you up, never let your feet touch the ground, take care of your kids, ensure that you was never ever going to need or want for anything, and to make your father proud. And you sold yourself out for some Ruth Chris and a handbag that cost them about $3 to make. I wasn't supposed to go live today. I wasn't. But I was hearing these chicks and they was talking about themselves and they was just so thinking that they was doing it. And it was just the blind leading the blind and nobody was actually up there telling them anything differently. And I said, you know what? I don't usually do this, but I'm going to have to go live. I said, Rita, make sure you get yourself together. We about to go out. We about to go have some fun. I told my daughter, I said, get your room clean, take some opportunity to be able to get yourself together, make sure that all of the dishes is washed and take care of business, so on and so forth. Let me cook up for a second. Let me kick it with my people for a second. I tell you this because I love you. I tell you this because I want you to be better. I tell you this because I understand what it's like to actually live in a gender-rolled household blissfully that allows for you to actually be able to create an environment to where the people around you can thrive. I know what it feels like to be successfully married. I've been doing it for 18 years. I'm 40 years old. I've been married since I was 22. All of my brothers is married. My father was married until he passed away. My uncles, all married, never divorced. I have the blueprint on what it takes to be successful. But the first thing that you're going to have to do is you're going to have to stop looking at yourself as a liability, operating under duress, opening your legs for every Tom, Dick, and Harry that said that they like you and they love you, and actually have a level of self-respect, because the only way that we're going to fix the communities is through your legs. And it ain't through everybody getting into it. It's by you closing them. The only way we're going to fix our communities is through your legs. It all leads through you. We only as strong as the women that's holding us down. We can't, I'm going to just tell you, we can't do it by ourselves. And I don't want every single guy to divest themselves and leaves and become passport bros, because I really do want strong families. I really do want us to thrive. I really do want y'all to get married. I would really like to have more women and more men at my millionaire marriage parties. But you can't get invited because you devalued yourself so much to where don't no man want to marry you. I really live it because I want to be the example first. I want you to be successful. I want you to be great. At the end of the day, listen, you may not like me as far as how it is that I communicate on certain panels. You may not like the way that I talk to people as far as holding them accountable and being very direct. You may not even like the money advice that I give because I say that we shouldn't be running into Victim Olympics. But the one thing that you will never take away from me is that I'm not a reflection of the thing that I advocate for, and I'm real, and I actually am. I am passionate about the people that I serve because I do everything in good faith, and I am a reflection of the thing that I advocate for first. I lived it, and then I preach it so that you wouldn't have to go through it the way that we did. You could say whatever it is that you want to say, but the one thing you can't say is that I'm not passionate about you actually becoming the best version of yourself. Close your legs. The way that we fix our community, the first thing that we have to do in fixing our community, it's not through men, it's not doing none of that, is you closing your legs and not being a representation of the thing that we don't want as a liability.